Hi, thank you for joining me. This is Key 18, Observer Function. Observer Function Revoke Role Passive by Jason Gray. Current date 4/1/2026, 6026 Analusis. Transmission date 5/25/2025 GMT, 6025 Analusis. Current time 8:17 GMT -6. Transmission time 10:18 GMT -6. Transmission location #Winnipeg, #Manitoba, #Canada. 18.infinity.018.808.333.18.000 111100 111000 11110011. There comes a point in the descent where observation itself becomes insufficient, not wrong, not incomplete, but no longer the final position. The observer myth. For much of the sequence, you were guided toward witnessing. Observe your thoughts, observe your emotions, observe your patterns, observe the system, observe the illusion. This was necessary because identification had to loosen. The self had to step back from automatic entanglement. You had to see clearly. The stability of watching. Observation created distance. Distance created clarity. Clarity created awareness, and awareness created a form of freedom. You were no longer fully inside the pattern. You could see it, name it, understand it, not react to it the same way. This is where most paths stop. The hidden limit. There is a limit to observation, a subtle one. If you remain only the observer, you are still positioned outside creation. You are aware of reality, but not fully participating in its formation. You are seeing, but not shaping. You are witnessing, but not generating. The line. Observer, function, revoke, role, passive. This is the shift. The observer is not destroyed, it is upgraded. What passive observation does. It stabilizes awareness, but it also creates a separation. Observer, observed. This duality is useful early, but eventually it becomes another layer of limitation because as long as you are only observing, you are still relating to reality as something already formed. The realization. Observation is not neutral. It is participatory. Even in physics, the act of observation affects the system. At deeper levels of awareness, this becomes undeniable. What you attend to amplifies, stabilizes, and collapses into form. Observation is not passive, it is influence. Why this was hidden? Because if you understand this too early, you would try to control everything, force outcomes, manipulate reality, project will from the surface identity, but that level of self is not stable enough to create without distortion, so first you learn to observe. Now the next step. You begin to see that you are not just watching reality, you are part of what is bringing it into form. The collapse of distance. The observer and the observed are not separate. They are two aspects of the same field. The one seeing and the thing seen arise together. What this means. You are not a spectator in a world. You are a co-generative point within the field of reality. The function shift. Old function, observe, understand, remain separate. New function, observe, align, generate. Alignment is key. You do not create from reaction. You do not create from distortion. You do not create from surface desire. You create from alignment with the deeper field. The moment of creation. Creation is not dramatic. It is constant. Every moment, attention shapes perception. Perception shapes interpretation. Interpretation shapes response, and response shapes reality. This loop is already active, but now you are aware of your role inside it. You begin to notice. Subtle changes. A thought held differently changes the direction of an interaction. A reaction not taken alters the entire trajectory of a moment. A presence maintained stabilizes chaos around you. A word spoken from alignment carries disproportionate impact. This is creation. Not fantasy, not imagination. Structural influence within the field. The end of passivity. You stop waiting for reality to present itself. You begin participating in how it unfolds. the responsibility. This is where everything becomes real, because now you cannot claim neutrality. You cannot claim detachment. You cannot claim that you are just observing what happens. Everything you hold matters. Your state matters. Your tone matters. Your alignment matters. Your attention matters because all of it feeds into the field. You are a node, not separate, not central, but essential. A point where reality is being perceived, interpreted, and expressed simultaneously. The creator misunderstanding. This does not mean I control everything. It means I am participating in everything I experience. Creation is shared. The field is collective, interconnected, multi-layered. You are not the only node, but you are responsible for your node. The shift in experience. You begin to feel less like things are happening to you, and more like things are happening through interaction with you. The end of watching from afar. There is no safe distance anymore. No place to stand outside and just observe without influence. You are always in the field, always affecting, always shaping, always participating. The final realization. You are never just the observer. That was a phase, a necessary one, but not the final one. The final line. You stop watching, you begin creating. Observer, function, revoke, role, passive. You are never separate from reality. You are part of its formation the entire time. Jason Gray. Okay. That one's going to take me a minute. my thought is that part of it sounds like there's a level of bypassing if you don't observe. So I understand the part about participating, because your attention is what shapes. So yes, but I think there's also some bypassing of observation that possible there. So I don't know. I have to think through this one. But anyway, all right. I will put the links in the description. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.